Well, I grew up in Flat River, and I graduated from Central High School. I went to Mineral Area College. After I graduated law school, I moved back to Park Hills and started my law practice and live here in Park Hills. All of my family lives in St. Francis County in the Park Hills area and raises their families there. I spend most of my time working, reading about the law, and studying the cases that I have in front of me. And when I do have free time, I like to get out and go mostly hiking, do a little bit of rock climbing, and to get outside in a lot of the area that we have around here. And when I can, I travel out west to either do some of that in the mountains or desert also. Yeah, we have so many great areas outside in our area right here, whether it's Hahn State Park, Elephant Rocks, Pickle Springs. There's just so many parks and really great areas to get out and be active. And one thing I know, working in the court system, you see a lot of issues come from mental health. And I think that getting out and being active is one of the best things that you could do to stay healthy, both physically and mentally and emotionally. I just think that getting out in nature and being active is one of the greatest things you can do. My day sitting either at a bench or at a desk reading papers, and so you have to be purposeful, I think, in trying to get out and be active that way, or it's easy just to kind of become sedentary. I'm from Park Hills, but I was born and grew up in Flat River. Before Park Hills was Park Hills, it was several little towns there: Flat River, Esther, Elvins, Riverbines, all which in the 90s voted to come together and join to become one city. And I think that happened. That was in the early 90s. All of those towns had consolidated their school districts much earlier in like the late 60s, and so I think it just made sense economically and culturally for the town to be joined together also.
Well,
A few things that are neat about Elephant Rocks. Just first of all, the incredible rock formations are just inspiring, I think. And then there's a lot of other interesting things when you get close up, some carvings from Civil War times and things like that. They're just really interesting to walk around and take a look at. And you are at Elephant Rocks allowed to climb around on the rocks and those types of things. They have, if you get too adventurous, I think there's some permitting and stuff like that you have to do if you want to climb too high elevation and that type of thing. But in general, you can get out here and climb around on the rocks, really have a good time. It's interesting in Missouri that judges are elected and mostly have to declare to run for one party or the other, but the ethical rules for judges require that we not really engage in that type of politics. So I avoid talking about any type of politics, and really you want everybody that comes into your courtroom to feel comfortable that you're going to treat them fairly, which is why you try not to share your beliefs or feelings about those things, because it's important that you do treat everybody fairly, but it's also important that people perceive or believe that they will get treated fairly, and you don't want them to think that you have some bias against them because of anything that you've shared politically or otherwise. I want to keep being a judge, but I also want to use my position as a judge for the next several years to try to advocate for improving some services in our areas so that our communities can be healthier and hopefully people can avoid having to come into the court system. I really do spend a lot of time studying the law, and people that have worked with me know that I read the cases, I study what the law is, I keep up with changes to the law that come out of Jeff City. I read most of the opinions that come from the Missouri Supreme Court and our courts of appeals. I listen to all of the appellate cases that are in front of the oral arguments for cases that are in the U.S. Supreme Court. So I'm a bit of a law junkie that way, which I think that curiosity is good for a judge or an attorney, to be curious about the law, and that really helps people feel comfortable when they're in front of you, knowing that you know what you're talking about and can parse through the sometimes complicated issues that come up in their cases. I'm Brice Sechrest. I am an Associate Circuit Judge in St. Francis County. I've served in that position for the last 3 years. I'm currently a candidate for Circuit Judge for the 24th Judicial Circuit. I started practicing as a judge after about 14 years of practicing law, mostly in St. Francis County, Washington County, St. Genevieve County, and Madison County.